Have you ever experienced the sting of being ignored or rejected by a woman you thought might be the one? You might find yourself asking, what did I do wrong? Why doesn't she see my worth? Before we dive into this guide, let me tell you something crucial. Rejection is not an ending, it's a beginning. If you want to unlock the wisdom of one of history's greatest thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, and learn how to use his teachings to transform your life, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and stick around until the end. This video might be the key to turning your love life around. Introduction to Marcus Aurelius and his philosophy. Let's rewind a bit. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Roman emperors, was not just a ruler, but also a Stoic philosopher. He lived in a time of immense challenges, facing wars, betrayals, and personal losses. Yet he stood tall, unshaken by the storms around him. How? Through the mastery of his mind, emotions, and actions. His philosophies offer us profound insights, and today, we're going to translate those lessons into something very real: how to handle rejection and make her regret overlooking you. You see, Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the obstacles in your life aren't meant to stop you. They're meant to help you grow. And that rejection you're feeling right now, it's your biggest opportunity. Let's explore the 10 pieces of advice that will not only change how you handle rejection, but will also make her regret ever letting you go. Certainly. Here's an expanded and engaging version of the first point, designed to keep viewers hooked, relating it to their own love experiences and drawing them into the story, as if it's their own journey. The goal is to make them feel personally involved and emotionally connected to the message. 1. Understand and accept reality. Let me ask you something. Do you remember the first time you felt rejected by someone you truly cared about? It's almost like a gut punch, isn't it? Maybe you stayed up late at night, replaying every single moment in your mind, wondering what you did wrong, asking yourself, why wasn't I enough? It's painful, and trust me, I've been there too. We've all been there, but here's the thing, my friend. This story, your story, isn't about what you did wrong or what she didn't see in you. This moment is about something much deeper, something Marcus Aurelius himself understood over 2,000 years ago. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. You see, there's a tendency to think that if we just try harder, if we just become the perfect version of ourselves for someone else, they'll finally see our worth. But that's not how it works. You cannot change someone's feelings, and you cannot force them to recognize your value. What you can do, however, is change how you react to it. Take a moment to breathe. Think about that person who rejected you. Visualize the moment it happened, the pain, the confusion, the disbelief. Now, imagine if you could strip all that emotion away and just see the situation for what it is. She made a choice, and that's her reality. It doesn't mean you weren't good enough. It doesn't mean you don't have value. It simply means that, in this particular moment, her path isn't aligned with yours. Imagine you're driving a car and suddenly you hit a detour. You can either sit there, stuck, cursing at the roadblock, or you can find a new route and keep moving forward. Most of us get stuck though, don't we? We slam on the brakes, get out of the car, and start shouting at the detour sign, as if our anger can make it disappear. But deep down, we know that's not how life works. Let's take a page from Marcus Aurelius's book. He faced countless detours in his life: betrayals, battles, even personal losses. And yet, he didn't waste his time fighting the things he couldn't change. Instead, he accepted them for what they were and focused on what he could control: his mind, his actions, his growth. Imagine if you took this same approach with your love life. What if, instead of asking, why doesn't she want me, you asked, what can I learn from this? What if, instead of seeing this rejection as a dead end, you saw it as an opportunity to take a different path? You see, every great story has a moment where the hero is knocked down. It's that low point, that moment of doubt, that defines them. but it's also the moment that propels them forward into greatness. Ask yourself, isn't it possible that this rejection is simply a chapter in a much bigger, more beautiful story? One that's not about winning her back, but about finding yourself? About becoming the person you were always meant to be? Let me share a personal story with you. A close friend of mine went through a painful breakup a few years ago. He was devastated, convinced that he'd never find someone like her again. He spent months trying to figure out where he went wrong, how he could have done things differently. But then, one day, he stumbled upon a quote from Marcus Aurelius. That changed everything for him. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. It hit him like a ton of bricks. He realized that the pain he was feeling wasn't just about losing her. It was about refusing to accept the reality of the situation. So he did something incredible. He let go. He accepted that she had made her choice. And instead of focusing on what he'd lost, he started focusing on what he could gain. He hit the gym, threw himself into his career, started traveling, and pursued hobbies he'd long forgotten about. And you know what happened? He didn't just become happier. He became magnetic. He radiated confidence, purpose, and joy. And it wasn't long before his ex started reaching out, curious about this new version of him. So here's my challenge to you. Stop fighting against reality. Stop trying to change her mind. Instead, focus on changing yours. Accept that this rejection is a part of your journey, not the end of it. Take that pain, that heartache, and turn it into fuel for your own growth. Remember, you have power over your mind, not outside events. And once you realize this, once you truly understand and accept reality, you'll discover a strength you never knew you had. You're not just a side character in her story, you're the hero of your own. And this, my friend, is just the beginning. Make sure to stay with me because the next steps will reveal how you can take this newfound strength and use it to transform not only how you see yourself, but how the world sees you. And maybe, just maybe, she looked back and realized that ignoring you was the biggest mistake she ever made. 2. Detach from the need for validation. Think back for a moment. Can you remember a time when you were head over heels for someone? Maybe it was that summer fling during high school or a crush that made your heart race every time you saw her. Remember the butterflies in your stomach, the daydreams, and the constant wondering if she felt the same way? It's exhilarating, yet when things don't go as planned, it can also feel devastating. Now, here's a question for you. How often did you find yourself seeking her validation? Maybe you changed your outfit just to impress her, or found yourself overanalyzing every interaction, hoping to decipher her feelings. It's a common story, and trust me, I've been there too. When we put someone else's opinion above our own, we risk losing sight of who we are. Marcus Aurelius understood this struggle. He wisely stated, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Think about what this really means. It's not her rejection that's causing you pain. It's your need for her approval. You've placed your happiness in her hands, believing that if only she could see your worth, everything would fall into place. But here's the truth. True confidence comes from within. Imagine for a moment walking into a room, not feeling the pressure to impress her or anyone else. Instead, you're there to enjoy yourself, knowing that your value doesn't depend on someone else's perception of you. That shift in mindset is liberating, isn't it? Let's say you stop checking your phone obsessively for her texts. Instead, you start focusing on your own passions, whether that's diving into your hobbies, hitting the gym, or spending time with friends. You cultivate your interests and passions, and that confidence begins to radiate. You become the person who is living life for himself, not waiting for someone else's approval. Here's where it gets interesting. When you stop desperately seeking her validation, you actually become more attractive. People are naturally drawn to those who are secure in themselves. You become a magnet for positivity, and ironically, that's when she may start to notice what she once overlooked. So, I ask you, are you ready to break free from the chains of seeking validation? This story isn't just about her. It's about reclaiming your power and stepping into the best version of yourself. As you embark on this journey, remember, you are worthy, with or without her approval. And once you realize that, you'll find that the love and respect you seek from others will naturally follow. 3. Build inner strength and confidence. Have you ever had a moment where you felt completely invincible? Maybe it was when you accomplished something you had worked hard for, a big promotion, a successful presentation, or perhaps a personal milestone, like completing a marathon. In those moments, you were filled with a sense of pride and confidence, and everything felt possible. But what happens when you face rejection? That feeling can quickly turn into doubt and insecurity, leaving you wondering if you'll ever feel that way again. Let's take a step back. Remember that time you had a crush on someone? The excitement, the anticipation, and then the crushing disappointment when she didn't feel the same way. It's easy to let that rejection chip away at your self-esteem. You start to question everything about yourself, your looks, your personality, even your sense of humor. But here's the powerful truth. Rejection can be the catalyst for building an incredible inner strength if you allow it to be. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that our thoughts shape our reality. He said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So what if you flip the script? Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, use that rejection as fuel to ignite your inner fire. Focus on yourself. Hit the gym, pick up new hobbies, or dive into a book you've always wanted to read. Think about this. When you invest time in yourself, you start to radiate confidence. You become a person who's not only proud of who they are, but also excited about their journey. And guess what? That newfound strength will attract people to you, including her. When she sees you thriving and happy, she might start to regret her earlier decision. 4. Embrace solitude. Now, let's talk about solitude. I know what you're thinking. Solitude? But isn't that lonely? It can be, yes, but it can also be incredibly liberating. Imagine this. After a breakup or a rejection, instead of diving headfirst into another relationship to fill that void, you take a step back. You give yourself space to breathe and reflect. How many times have you rushed into something new to avoid dealing with the pain? Think about a time when you were alone. It could have been during a quiet evening or a weekend spent with your own thoughts. Initially, it felt uncomfortable, right? But as the hours passed, you might have realized how peaceful it can be to just be with yourself. Marcus Aurelius found strength in solitude, saying, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." So, how do we embrace this solitude? Start by setting aside time just for you. Dive into that hobby you've always loved. Maybe it's painting, hiking, or even learning a new instrument. Use this time to reconnect with who you are outside of a relationship. This isn't about ignoring your feelings. It's about processing them and understanding yourself on a deeper level. As you embrace solitude, you'll find clarity. You'll start to identify what you truly want in a partner and in life. This self-awareness can be transformative. And guess what? When you become comfortable in your own skin, others will notice. You'll radiate a quiet confidence that makes you more attractive than ever. So I ask you, are you ready to embrace your own company? This journey is about finding strength in solitude and realizing that you don't need someone else to define your worth. By focusing on yourself, you're setting the stage for a brighter future, one where you can love deeply and fully, knowing exactly who you are. 5. Pursue your passions. Let's talk about passions. Think back to a time when you were completely engrossed in something you loved. Maybe it was a hobby, a sport, or a creative pursuit. Do you remember how time seemed to fly when you were doing it? That feeling of being lost in something that ignites your soul is pure magic. But how often do we set those passions aside in favor of chasing after someone else? We get so caught up in our desire for validation that we forget what truly brings us joy. Marcus Aurelius believed that true fulfillment comes from within. He said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So why not channel your energy into the things that make you feel alive? Whether it's painting, Writing, playing music, or exploring nature, immersing yourself in your passions, can rejuvenate your spirit and ignite a fire within you. When you actively pursue what you love, you not only become more interesting and fulfilled, but you also radiate a contagious energy that attracts others. Think about it. The last time you met someone who was passionate about something, didn't their enthusiasm draw you in? You can become that person too. As you cultivate your interests, you'll find that your confidence soars, and your love life becomes an exciting adventure rather than a desperate pursuit. 6. Practice self-care. Now let's dive into self-care. After a rejection, it's easy to slip into a cycle of negativity, neglecting your physical and mental well-being. But think back to a time when you felt your best, perhaps after a workout, a spa day, or simply indulging in your favorite meal. How did that feel? Refreshing, right? Taking care of yourself is essential to healing and rebuilding your confidence. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Instead of wallowing in despair, use this time to invest in yourself. Develop a routine that includes exercise, nutritious food, and activities that bring you joy. When you prioritize your well-being, you begin to see changes not just in your physical appearance, but in your mental outlook. You'll find that the world seems a little brighter, and you'll start attracting positive energy. Plus, when she sees you thriving and taking care of yourself, it might just spark her interest again. 7. Cultivate a support system. Let's not forget about the importance of community. Who are the people in your life that lift you up and support you? Think about the friends or family members who have been there for you during tough times. It's crucial to have a solid support system to lean on, especially after experiencing rejection. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that we are social beings, saying, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees." Surrounding yourself with positive influences is vital. When you share your experiences and feelings with those who care about you, it helps you process your emotions and gain perspective. Reach out to those friends you may have neglected. While chasing after someone else, organize hangouts, go on adventures, and share your stories. By connecting with others, you'll not only feel less alone, but you'll also find strength in your vulnerability. And guess what? As you rebuild those connections, you'll realize that you don't need validation from just one person. You have a whole tribe that loves and supports you. 8. Set goals and move forward. Now let's talk about setting goals. After a breakup or rejection, it's easy to feel adrift, lacking direction. But think about a time when you set a goal for yourself. Whether it was losing weight, completing a project, or learning a new skill. Remember the satisfaction of achieving it? It's empowering, isn't it? Marcus Aurelius believed in the power of purpose, stating, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Use this principle to set clear, achievable goals for yourself. Focus on personal growth and development. Maybe it's taking a class, traveling somewhere new, or even starting a side hustle. As you pursue these goals, you'll gain a renewed sense of purpose and motivation. Each step you take will reinforce your confidence and lead you closer to the person you want to become. Plus, as you evolve, the world around you will take notice, including her. 9. Stay open to new experiences. Embracing new experiences can be a game changer. After rejection, it's natural to want to retreat and protect your heart. But think back to a time when you tried something new. Maybe it was a dance class, a new cuisine, or a spontaneous road trip. Do you remember the thrill of stepping out of your comfort zone? Marcus Aurelius encouraged us to embrace change, saying the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. So why not approach this moment as an opportunity for growth? Step outside your routine and seek out new adventures. Join clubs, attend events, or even travel. When you open yourself up to new experiences, you not only enrich your life, but also expand your social circle. You might just meet someone who appreciates you for who you are, not who you were trying to be. 10. Remember your worth. Finally, let's talk about remembering your worth. Rejection can make you question your value. But take a moment to reflect on all your incredible qualities. Think about your unique talents, your kindness, your humor. What makes you you? Marcus Aurelius reminds us to reflect on our strengths and capabilities. You are a little soul carrying around a corpse, he said, emphasizing the importance of recognizing the essence of who we are. Don't let someone else's opinion define you. So, as you move forward from this rejection, carry this mantra with you: I am worthy. Write it down, say it out loud, and believe it. When you truly embrace your worth, you'll exude a confidence that draws people in. You'll attract the right kind of attention, the kind that appreciates you for all that you are. With all these steps, remember that your journey is uniquely yours. It's about growth, self-discovery, and ultimately, finding love on your terms. And who knows? The very person who rejected you might one day regret overlooking the amazing person you've become. So, keep pushing forward and embrace the beautiful story that is unfolding. Conclusion. The journey of facing rejection isn't easy, but it's an opportunity to discover your true strength, value, and purpose. Marcus Aurelius' teachings offer a path to turn rejection into power, growth, and transformation. If you found this guide valuable, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, you have the power to turn your pain into progress. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.